straight points, including the free throws off a controversial foul call that we'll talk about in just a moment.
That is some bull.
Yeah, it was some bull. Okay, here they are. Here are his 13 points that just come like lightning out of the Rocky Mountains. He suddenly makes a three. That was his first three of the game. What? And he makes another three, and he's not even a three-point shooter. And then he gets the foul call, and he goes to the line, and I'm thinking surely he'll miss one of these because he'd missed two in a row earlier in the game, and he makes all three. And then he comes down and actually did what he should have been doing all game. He shot a little 10-footer and made it. And then he takes it to the basket, gets fouled, and he says, I got these two free throws. That's 13 straight points. And with that last free throw you saw, with 1:58 left in the game, they led the basketball game. 89-80. The score is like a 90 score. It's 89-88 because it is a clank fest between these two teams. And then, speaking of Bruce Brown, this was the shot of the night. Jokic notwithstanding, Jamal notwithstanding, Aaron Gordon, Michael Porter Jr., Bruce Brown did it again. He haunts me. He actually helped me when he was a Brooklyn Net, but this is the shot of the night because Jamal misses. If we could see this with 133 left, and this is 131. Jamal misses a tough shot, and he comes from nowhere on Strus, gets underneath Strus. This is what he does. This is who he is. He shoots, and he slips underneath. He slips underneath Strus and puts it right back in. Yep. It's a killer shot because all of a sudden they go back up one with 131 left when it looked like on a missed shot, a force-up miss by Jamal, and you think, well, you got the ball. You could go down and maybe make a three and go up four. Maybe that's a winner, right? Okay, now speaking of making a three, my two guys, Gabe Vincent and Max Strus.
I wonder if you're going to get to them.
Yeah, I'm going to get to them, but this was Max Strus. I'm going to show you what happened with 1:13 left. Jimmy creates a wide-open three for him in the corner. You have to make this shot. He's been making them his whole life for the Miami Heat, and he was just long and right with it. Shannon, it's a shot you have to hit because it's to go up two with 1:13 left. It's how they got here. They did it to the Bucks, and they did it to the Knicks, and they did it to the Celtics, and he couldn't do it to the Nuggets. It's one of those. Remember, he made four in the first quarter when he bounced back in game two and really set the table for what happened in the game they stole in Denver. Okay, now we're back to Jimmy Buckets. At this point, he had missed his last two threes after that salvo that we just saw. And he goes Fred Brown. Remember Georgetown Fred Brown against North Carolina? Downtown Fred Brown. This is 1982 national championship game won by Michael Jordan with the late jump shot. And
he did the same thing. James Worthy picked Freddie Brown. And that was KCP that picked.
Okay, but I don't even think you pick it. You just stand there and say, you're throwing it to me? Here's Jimmy Buckets with the crucial. This is.
He traveled to begin with.
Yeah, he did because he lost his feet in the lane and he doesn't know what to do and he just throws it right to KCP. It's the ball game. This is your chance because you're only down one at this point. It's 27 seconds left. You get stuck. I don't know. I think he kept his pivot foot. But the point is, this is your best player. If your best player can't make one play, just go up and shoot. Just get to the free throw line. They have lived on that kind of a drive shot. They have lived on him kicking to an open shooter, and he got so deep that he got stuck, and he lost his balance for a moment. I don't know if he lost his pivot foot, but he lost his balance, and then he lost his mind.
Yeah, I think the thing was, Skip, they had done a great job after game two of staying down. They do a great job of getting you up and then jumping into you and getting the foul contact. They did a great job of playing Jimmy, knowing that he wants to play, as Eddie Howe says, off 2 feet. He's going to pump fake you up in the air. They did a great job of holding steady. So once the guy didn't leave, you're right, he probably should have just gone up and attempted the shot like he did when he gave him that 1 point lead. But he kind of like lost it.
He lost it. It's the game. It's the season. It's the series. And you throw it to KCP, who just goes down and makes the 2 free throws, and it's basically game over. But Jimmy got one last attempt. It's not his forte. It's not what he does. But he did get a three. He shoots line drive threes. He doesn't seem to have much range to his shot.
He doesn't have arc.
But with no arc. With 17 seconds left, we can see the final nail in the coffin. He tries one more. This is to tie the game with 17 seconds left. Not a terrible look, but not his shot. And he missed it, and that was all she wrote for the Miami Heat. Okay. You lived and you died by Jimmy Buckets, right? You lived and you died because He got you back in it, and then he lost it for you with the bad pass, and he missed his last 2 threes. Well, I can't ask him to make two. It's not even what he does.
Right.
But he's all you got. He is your best player, so to speak. And yet, go ahead.
Skip, do you realize before he had that salvo, you had a whopping total of 5 points?
Yeah, he was 2 for 13.
No, I'm saying the Heat in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Skip, you had 5 points.
All they had was they had a Kyle Lowry 3.
Yes.
And somebody else. Oh, Caleb Martin made an up and under bucket.
Yes.
Okay, he made a drive shot.
You had
5 other points besides his salvo.
Yes.
You had 18 total points. If he doesn't go crazy, you're not going to score.
So for
10.
the first 10 minutes of the game, for the first 10 minutes of the fourth quarter, you had a grand total of 5 points. In the second half, Jimmy Butler was 3 of 10. Kyle Lowry was 2 of 7. Max Strus was 2 of 7.
Yeah.
Gabe Vincent was 3 of 8. Bam went 1 a second. Remember that great first half that Bam had? Bam made 1 shot, missed 7 shots in the second half. So, Skip, as bad as the Nuggets were playing, the Heat was playing even worse.
That's my point. Again, the game was theirs on a silver platter to take. And they just couldn't hold on long enough to take it away.
Right.
And back to my guys, Gabe Vincent, Max Strus.
Oh, the second half, they were terrible.
Okay, think about this. Over the last 3 games, think about this. Let these numbers sink in. Over the last 3 games, 2 at home, 1 in Denver, they combined to go 12 of 52 from the floor. That's 23%. I mean, you just can't overcome it. They're in your starting lineup. From 3 over the last 3 games.
Right.
They managed to go 3 of 27. That's 11%. If they make 5 of those, just 5 more of those, we might be having a different conversation. But they couldn't make a one, and then Strus missed the one at the end of the game.
But, Skip, you got to admit, now, Kyle Lowry was making some threes. Come on, I'm like, Kyle, what are you doing?
I mean,
he's pulling them out to you-know-what.
He did, but that's all they had, which brings me back to Hemi buckets.
You are no Hemi.
Well, he deserves it. Well, what have you said to me? If it were LeBron James, you'd be all, I would.
Right.
I would. Who wouldn't be?
But, Skip, I think the thing is that this is why he's been able to come playoff time. It's because nobody views him like you view KD or you view Steph or you view LeBron or Giannis. So he's able to escape. So we give him, he praise, oh, that's a LeBron performance, that's a KD performance. But when he doesn't play well, we just excuse it and say, well, he's not that caliber player. Well, you can't give him kudos when he plays well and let him escape blame when he plays bad.
Okay, I got it. A longtime trusted NBA source of mine texted me this morning as we were getting ready for the show.
Okay.
And he said, I've told you for years, he's a number 2. He's a second star. He needs a 1. He needs somebody else who closes deep.
But he's going to run him off.
Okay. Well, you could argue he's difficult to live with. Right. I got you. Okay. Think about this. Over the first 12 games he played in these playoffs, that included the 56-42 against Milwaukee, Jimmy, or let's call him Hemi buckets, averaged 31, 7, and 6, and he was a plus 35 in his plus minus. He shot 52% from the floor and 37 from 3 and 81 from the free throw line. Okay, over the last 10 games, it's going all the way back to game 3 of the Boston series. He averaged only 22, 6, and 6. He was a minus 46 in those 10 games. So that's horrible if he's your best player. And from the floor, he shot only 40%, from 3, 35, and from the line, he was still at 81. But his free throw attempts fell way off, about 5 a game. He dropped. Well, it got so bad, he lost all of his confidence last night where he couldn't initiate. He is their point forward. He is their orchestrator. And the only thing that makes him so viable is because he is the threat of, I drive it in the middle and I go up and shoot a 12-foot jump shot and I make them. I make like 80% of those. Well, you have to honor that. Well, Denver didn't have to honor it because he couldn't make one. And after a while, he quit shooting them.
Skip, I think because he played so hard on both ends of the court, you can tell late in the ball game, look how hard he was breathing. He was exhausted because they have to play so many minutes. But like I said, at the end of the day, Skip, this is who, Skip, we talked about it. Remember they lost to Atlanta? He was like, this team, they lost to the Hawks, the lowly Hawks. Look, because remember last year they beat them. They blew them out. And you said, what happened?
They wiped them out. They dominated.
You like little mice straight. They got out rebounded 63-39 or something. You told me.
That was it. You got it.
And I'm not surprised. What's shocking is not that they lost. The shocking part should be that they got this far, considering.
Okay, Again, through the first 20 playoff games, they shot 39% from
Yes.
three. And you can say aberration,
Yes.
you know, more blip than trend.
Correct.
I got you. Over the last 3 games, they shot 29% from three. Well, it's not good enough
Right.
because even last night, Gabe Vincent, Max Strus, and Caleb Martin, they combined to go 1 of 14 from three, and they still were up a point with
Yes.
158 left. How is that possible?
They shot 30% from the floor in the second half. They shot 25% from the three. Skip, they scored 38 points in the second half. And if Jimmy Butler doesn't go haywire, if he doesn't have a Reggie Miller Knicks moment,
He did.
Skip, they're about to have 5 points in a 12-minute quarter.
That is correct. I can't argue. And all that said, they were still in the game.
They were.
Which is impossible.
Right. But that just goes to show, think about it. It took a historically bad performance by the Nuggets this late in the season. I think this was their 3rd worst three-point shooter. This was their 6th worst free throw shooting game.
Yeah.
And they still won.
Yeah, what were they for the free throw? It was horrendous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Skip, they shot 18%. They shot 18% from the three. They shot 57% from the free throw line.
They missed 10 free throws.
10.
13 or 23. That's what I'm saying. Here, here, here. And
Nervous.
Miami's saying, no, no, we don't want it.
Skip, nerves. I mean, think about, look how they came out, Skip. They had 4 turnovers in the first 6
They
possessions.
did.
That's all nerves. That's like, oh, we know what's up. We about to win a championship. We can win a championship. We can win. Oh, throw it away.
Yeah.
And Mike Malone's like, just calm down. We can't win it in the first 5 minutes of the game.
No. And it literally goes to the last possession with 17 seconds left, in which Jimmy Butler actually hands it to KCP. Like, here, we don't want this.
Yeah.
It's like the game is in his hands, and it's the basketball.
Right.
I don't want this game.
Right.
You take this
Right.
game, and KCP says, seriously?
And if you know
I'll go
anything
down
about
and make
if
this.
you know anything about KCP, he's gonna shoot the alley. He's really good. He's really good at back. And you mentioned.
Let's go face to face. I embrace debate. I don't make mistakes. I just make my case. Drop spike when I'm done. What more can I say? Not bite to my tongue. I don't like the taste. I'm on and I'm on and I own my opponent. I'm always in the zone. Need a zone, out of zone, and then we can get it poppin'. Pick the topic if you want to skip and Shannon, skip and hoppin'. Took these sports and made it pop. Say all right, undisputed.
The Denver Nuggets on the precipice of greatness, the brink of a championship. Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. Hope y'all had fabulous weekends. We're glad you're kicking off the week here on Undisputed. I'm Jen Hale. That is Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp. Good morning, guys.
Good morning. It won't be long now.
You know what? You got me. I give up.
No.
I give in. Listen, I give up. Joker is better than LeBron. I agree.
No.
I agree. Joker is better than LeBron. Joker is the quote-unquote GOAT.
He the baddest thing going right now, Skip.
Really?
He the baddest thing going right now. You know.
How about Duncan Robinson? That's all we got. Duncan Robinson. It's come to this. That's all I got. Huh?
You need Jimmy Butler from the Milwaukee series to show up.
That's a distant memory.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, guys, it was all clicking for the Nuggets earlier. They now have a commanding 3-1 lead on the Heat. This after a 108-95 Game 4 victory this past weekend. Joker, 23 points, 12 rebounds. Aaron Gordon actually led all scorers, though, with 27. Lots of contributions on that Nugget squad. And for the aforementioned Heat, Jimmy Butler, he put up 25 in the loss. All right, Shannon, but on your analyst hat, was Game 4 more about the Nuggets or more about the Heat?
It's the Nuggets. And Skip, at some point in time, you just come to the realization that the team that's winning is just a better team.
Yeah.
I think the Heat have overachieved. They revert. What we've seen basically in this series is them reverting back to who they were in the regular season. They can't make because they were, one of the worst three-point shooting teams. They were one of the worst teams as far as scoring. And you see this is the 3rd game they've been held on 100 points. In today's NBA, when a team doesn't reach 100 points, you're like, what is really going on?
That is
and
a
we've
fact.
seen 3 and 4 games, they've been under 100 points.
That is a fact.
And so when you look at it, Skip, that's what it's come down to.
Yep.
And I said, I'm waiting for Aaron Gordon to have a sighting because he won them Game 4. When they swept Skip, that 22-point effort, I think he was 3 of 3 from the three-point line, and he showed up big and he showed out. And even when Yo got in foul trouble, it was Aaron Gordon, it was Bruce Brown. They cut it to 6. They swung the ball.
5, actually.
They cut it.
5. Yes,
Then
go
Jeff
ahead.
Green hit a 3. And then KCP stripped Jimmy Butler. And then in transition, you get one by Bruce Brown, and really they never look back. You knew, Skip, they had to cut it equal or be down maybe one, maybe two with Yoke on the bench with that fifth foul all the time. And they couldn't get it any closer than 5. They hit a 3, they get a strip, they get a layup, and they never look back. Their role players finally, for the second time in this, because Christian Brown, that first game he played, but Skip, this was all about Aaron Gordon. This was all about Bruce Brown because Murray didn't really have it going. He hit some big shots, though. He hit a couple of big threes when Yoke was in foul trouble.
He did.
But Aaron Gordon and Bruce Brown, those are the type of guys that you got to have, and they had a showing. And Skip, it really, I mean, again, it was another, 13-point victory. The Heat just, it's over, Skip. It's over. It's over.
Okay.
I think you know it's over, too.
I think I do. Unfortunately, I think I do. I just watched the Miami Heat in back-to-back home games.
Yes.
These are home games with a chance to at least come out 2-2 going back to Denver. Home games that left me somewhere between dumbfounded and devastated because Shannon Sharp, I could not recognize the Miami Heat, who had blown through the Bucks, who had blown through the Knicks, who had blown out and blown through the Boston Celtics, winning a Game 7 at Boston. I couldn't recognize the same Heat who actually stormed back to win Game 2 at Denver. Who were these imposters? Who were these frauds? Because they got turned back into 8-seed pumpkins. We kept using the Cinderella analogy, and it's the coaches taking her to the ball. They turned into pumpkins. Well, the coaches taking the Miami Heat back to, don't they call it now, Ball Arena? Well, the coaches turned back into pumpkins. So they're having to fly pumpkins across country now back to Denver. Okay, so I'll focus first on Game 4. Friday night. Ruined my Friday night because I'm going to point out to everyone, they quote-unquote held your man Joker to 23 points in large part because he was in big foul trouble going into the fourth quarter. They held him, as they did in Game 2, to only 4 assists. Well, it's huge. It's sort of, I'm pretty sure that's the game plan. Let him score. Let's keep the others from scoring. Don't let anybody else kill us. I'm about to get to kill because they got killed by the others. He got Joker got 2 offensive rebounds. You can live with that. He had 13 total, but you can live. You just don't want him playing volleyball, right? Okay, so it's like check. They held Jamal to 5 of 17. To your point, I'll get to it in a minute, but if you can hold him to 5 of 17, along with Joker to 23 and 4 assists, you'd say, okay, now what you got for me? They actually came back after they got annihilated on the backboards in Game 3. They won the rebounds on Friday night, 37-34. Check, another big box. Help me out. If I checked off all those boxes for you on Friday's show going into that game, if I told you this is what's going to happen, this, and this, you'd say, you know what? I think it's 2-2, right? And it's 3-1, and it wasn't even close.
It wasn't.
Okay. In large part, it's because Aaron Gordon went crazy Aaron Gordon, which he comes and goes. Some games he's completely quiet and missing. He plays defense every game, plays it hard, and he's done a good job on Jimmy Butler. Bruce Brown always plays well. It just depends how many touches he gets is about how much he's going to score because every time he touches it, something good happens. Look at your numbers off your box score. Aaron Gordon goes 11 of 15. Bruce Brown goes 8 of 11. That's a combined 19 of 26. That's 6 of 9 from 3. It's too good. It's too much. It's 27 points and 21 points. It's 48 points from 2 guys that you wouldn't count on. It's game over.
If you get those 2 guys and they outscored Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray, you're not winning that game.
It's ridiculous. You can't. You had them. You let them off the hook. Now, to my 2 least favorite new Miami Heat players. These guys start for the Miami Heat. One is Gabe Vincent, the other is Max Strus. I'm going to do games 3 and 4, and I'm going to try to keep my seatbelt on over here because here are the numbers for Gabe Vincent and Max Strus. And before I give you these numbers, can I give you some of the games each has had through this playoff run? Can I tell you, Max Strus went on a 6-game stretch. This is over the Knicks going into the Celtics. Here is points scored over a 6-game stretch: 17, 19, 16, 14, 14, 15. Okay, so he's capable of getting you 15-ish points a night. Okay, he's capable of doing what he did to open up Game 2 at Denver when he was 0 for 10 from the floor and 0 for 9 from 3. He comes out and makes 4 threes in the first quarter. In the first quarter, and set the tone for a game that they stormed back to win. Gabe Vincent, these are his games through the whole finals up to the games 3 and 4. Here's some of his scoring totals: 15, 16, 22, 20, 21, 15, 29. You remember that in Game 3. 17, 15, 19, and 23. 19 and 23 were in games 1 and 2 at Denver. Right. I just gave you an average of about 20 a game from Gabe Vincent. In games 3 and 4, Mr. Sharp. Those two combined to go 4 of 27. Think about that. 4 of 27. They combined to go 2 of 17 from 3 in 2 home games. What's the oldest cliche in playoff basketball? Role players always play better at home. And they are starting role players. They start. They play starters, but they are role players. Yes. And they played like they were on the road. They played like they were both somewhere lost in the Amazonian wilds. Like they didn't know where they were. Right. 4 of 27. So I want to have to relive the torture for me. And for anybody who missed games 3 and 4, I'm going to show you what would it be, 23 straight. I'm going to show you, not straight, but 23 missed shots between Gabe Vincent and Max Strus. This is what started happening to the Miami Heat, and this is what closed their season out, basically. I'm going to show you all these misses. Bang. That was a pretty open shot. Strus, I don't know what that was. He missed the rim. And then Gabe Vincent, bad idea. And then a pretty open look, and he's short. And just long. These are reasonably open. Just a layup. That got contested, and he airballed it. And that was pretty well contested. I give you that. And then that's a free throw.
Those were shots they knocked down every time they got against the Celtics.
That one right there. That one, he just makes that sleep against Boston.